somebody believes in you. Look for these people who think that, you know what, it's possible for him. He's trying to do it, it's possible for him. Imagine a world where you do not doubt yourself one single bit. Imagine how much more powerful and successful you could be, and how much braver and more fearless you would be in trying to achieve goals when you have ultimate confidence in yourself. Welcome back to Inspire Change with Jordan Mulligan. And I wanted to talk today about self-belief, something that I have just had a conversation about. And I wanted to give you guys my opinion on how to find self-belief and why it is so important. For me, self-belief is a little bit like a chicken or an egg. And today I want to talk about how to change that and decide to take self-belief and how to achieve self-belief with a decision. Today's video was sponsored by Huel, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that your body needs. Find out more with the link down below. Self-belief is one of those things that is vital and, in fact, crucial to becoming successful in any endeavor. Without self-belief, you will only get so far. It's not possible to continue on a treacherous, difficult path where you are constantly met with obstacles and no's from people and keep going when there is no self-belief. The problem is if you grew up in a situation like me where maybe you was on a council house or a council estate, or you didn't have much success growing up, or you weren't surrounded by successful parents, and you didn't get to see what becoming successful looked like, then it's very hard to understand that that is actually possible, that that's actually a path for you. It reminds me of a story, a time when I was around 17, 18 years old, and it was a really difficult moment of my life. I had been playing basketball to become a professional NBA player, and those dreams were kind of dwindling. I was getting older, I was getting more injuries, it was becoming more difficult. I had to find a job which was a laboring job, which where I grow up is kind of the standard thing. You get a trade and you work in an industry. And for me, that was roofing, and I would work on roofs and I would decorate houses. And it was a good job. I earned a good, honest living, but I wasn't super passionate about it. I tried to do it with all my passion and effort, but it wasn't really what I felt my life had in store for me and what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And I remember a day, it was chucking it down with rain, it was freezing cold, and I was washing this roof, and I was being asked to get to the top of this roof to paint it, and it was raining, and paint and rain don't really go hand in hand. And the rain had become like a light drizzle, and I had the ladders set up on this roof very precariously. And it was a bungalow, so it wasn't super high. And my boss was a very hard-nosed guy who didn't take no for an answer. And usually I would never give him a no. But on this occasion I said, look, it's not safe for me to go up there. The tiles are slippy, it's wet, and you're asking me to paint the top of the roof, which we don't have a ladder for. And he set the ladder up precariously, balanced it on there, where we had one ladder balancing on the roof, another ladder propped up against that to try and wedge it in. And we only had one person holding the bottom of the ladder. And what he wanted me to do was crawl up the ladder and paint the last little bit of the roof, which we couldn't get with the machine. And me being me, I decided to go do it. And as I got to the top, the ladder slipped down the side of the roof. The weight of his ladder couldn't hold me up there. I fell on my back, landed on the floor, around a 10 to 12 feet drop. It wasn't gonna kill me, but it definitely knocked the wind out of me. And I was lying on the floor, looking up, rain on my face, paint everywhere. And I remember thinking to myself, is this it? Like, is this it for me? And I had moments like that all the time throughout those 2 or 3 months. And because I didn't see a pathway to become successful with my own eyes and my own experience through parents or peers or whatever it was, that thought loomed over me for a long period of time. Now, at the same time, I was a dreamer, and I believed in some aspects that I could achieve anything. I could become wealthy, I could become rich. And although those things were quite shallow, they also helped me break out of is this it thoughts. Another side to this is that growing up, my dad was in and out of my life. I never really knew him, never really saw him that much, but he was very in and out of my life. And my dad had this extreme talent to become very successful in business, probably not legally, I don't know, but very successful in business very quickly. And when he was flying high and he had his most money is the only time I'd see him, because he had this weird thing about wanting to show off to us. And it was super strange. I don't know why, but he used to do that. And one time my dad came into our council house where we had, no money. The kitchen plaster was falling off the walls. There was wallpaper peeled off. There was no floor. It was concrete floor. The oven wouldn't work. Just imagine a house that had no money. It was in disrepair, and there were 7 kids living there and one single mom. And he came in one time whilst I was having dinner, and he dumped this big bag on the table. He grabbed the bag and he tipped it upside down, and there was £50,000 on the table, just spread on the table in cash. And he was like, my dad always was like, if you work as hard as me, one day you'll be able to earn this. One day you'll be able to have this much money. And he always used to implant these ideas that when he was flying high in my head as a kid, that you could have a nice car like I have a nice car. One day you could have a pool in your garden. One day you could have this, you could have that. And because he had those ideas for himself, he would share them with us. In this way, he would kind of show off. Anyway, he would get the money, scooped it back into his carrier bag, tied it up, and walked off. And I think the cash was probably to pay his staff, I don't know, but he had a lot of cash. And that happened quite frequently. If I ever did see him, that's kind of some of the things he would do. And funnily enough, that combination of living in poverty and having no money and living on a council house with 7 brothers and sisters in one house, and then seeing this extreme wealth, gave me these 2 things that massively went against each other. But when I was in the low moments of self-belief, I was here in the council house. This is where I was struggling. Is this it for me? But luckily, growing up, I'd had this flaunted carrot dangling in front of my face that allowed me to break free of the self-belief and gave me a spark. And that's the thing that's missing for most people, is the spark. And there are a few things that you can do to get the spark. There are also a few people that I've spoken to throughout the years who have explained to me how you can get the spark. And the most powerful one that I know of, and this is the one I want to share with you today, is when I spoke to Inky Johnson, who is an amazing motivational speaker. If you know of Inky, you'll know the amazing work that he does and the messages that he spreads. And I'll link Inky's stuff down below. But the thing that he said to me, spoke to me about, was this concept of renting somebody else's belief. Inky Johnson grew up in poverty in America. He grew up in, the projects, again, living in a family home with more cousins than my 7 brothers and sisters, on the floor. It was a luxury to share the bed with 3 people. And he didn't know what a good life was. He didn't know what was on the other side of this because he never experienced it. He started playing football. He got picked up by a football coach at his high school. The high school football coach invites him out to dinner. He goes to dinner and he gets steak. Normal thing, right? He runs home that night, he gets back to his cousins and he said, yo guys, they have this thing called steak. And they're all like, what are you on about? He's like, it's like this nicest cut of meat you've ever had. It's delicious. They're all sat there at the restaurant. People bring food to you. They serve it to you. And his cousin's like, what are you on about, Ink? Stop lying. And he's like, no, seriously. You don't understand. They've got all this stuff. It's amazing. I'm telling you, it exists. And for him, it was this new discovery, but it opened his eyes to what was possible. And he started to have some belief that there was something possible. And that was his spark. But he said that doesn't last very long. Sometimes that's not enough. And to get out of not believing in yourself and to truly, truly believe in yourself, understanding that the circumstances are possible or are an option, to have this nice lifestyle is an option, is not enough. You need to fully believe that you're going to be there. But if you cannot do that, what you need to do is rent somebody else's belief. And I love this. Huel have just sent me their new daily greens. If you want to find out more, head to the link down below. It's the most convenient way of getting everything that your body needs. It takes 10 seconds to prepare. I'm now going to hit this every single morning along with one of their shakes throughout the day. That saves me so much time when we're flying around the world with all our equipment, we're doing these podcast episodes, to know that I can get all of this nutrients, the minerals, the vitamins in 10 seconds is mind-blowing. So if you want to find out more, head to the link down below where you can get Huel. Did I mention that it's absolutely delicious? Because it really is absolutely delicious. All of their products are down below. So this concept of renting belief. So Inky used his coach to be able to rent his belief. And because his coach believed in him, because Inky Johnson was putting in the work, somebody else believed in him, he rented his coach's belief. He thrived on the fact that his coach believed in him. And through that process, he realized that if somebody else can believe in me, then of course I can believe in myself. It seems like a natural progression. The issue is that some of us might not be in a situation where we have somebody who believes in us. And I understand that process. The thing is usually it's not that somebody doesn't believe in us, it's that we're not looking for it, or we don't respect the fact that they believe in us. So sometimes your mom might say, I believe in you. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I know you can do this. But you say to yourself, well, she's my mom. Of course you would say that. What you need to do is thrive on the fact that somebody believes in you. Look for these people who think that, you know what, it's possible for him. He's trying to do it. It's possible for him. And then build that circle around you. Build out the people around you who are also trying to succeed. Because a lot of the time, when you can't find people that believe in you, it's not a case of you are not capable of achieving that thing. It's not a case of people don't believe in you. It's just those people who do are not around you right now. And that's why it's important to build the right circle of people around you. It's about finding people who also are trying to succeed in life. What you will find a lot of the time is people who don't want to strive for something, who don't want to achieve something, who are not fired up by the same things that you're fired up by, also aren't going to believe in somebody else trying to achieve something they don't want to do either. It seems very obvious. When you put it out in words, it seems very obvious. If you want to be the best guitar player ever, but you're hanging around with somebody who wants to just play video games all day and chill out, which is fine. Like if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But if you hang around with somebody who wants to do that, that's fine. But to then expect that same person to have belief in you is unfair. It's stupid as well, if you ask me. This is one of the biggest issues with, especially in the early days, we don't have a network around us of people who are also in the right frame of mind as us, who are trying to achieve things. Usually when you are the top 1% or you're trying to be the 1%, I don't mean in earnings, I just mean in trying to achieve stuff, or you're trying to be somebody who's different and achieve things that have not been done in your family or in your local community before. To think that you're going to get self-belief in those places is wrong. And it's misguided. And what you need to do is you need to open up your horizons. You need to find people who are also trying to achieve similar things or loftier goals. Because when you go to them, they know that achieving something spectacular is possible because they are trying to do it themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. So there is some level of self-belief there already. and you egg each other on and you push each other and they start to believe in you, then you can rent their self-belief. You need to create this community around you to rent that belief. Once you start to do that, you then remind yourself that other people believe in you. Other people believe in you, so why wouldn't you believe in yourself? You are the only person who is capable of controlling everything that you do. So why wouldn't you be the biggest supporter and fan and cheerleader of yourself that you could be if it aids your success? I guess they're the most important things right there. They're the most important points on this. Self-belief is one of the most important factors. If you don't have it, you need to put yourself in a situation where you do have it. And once you start to find it, you need to remind yourself why you have that belief in yourself, and it will become stronger. Imagine a world where you do not doubt yourself one single bit. Imagine how much more powerful and successful you could be, and how much braver and more fearless you would be in trying to achieve goals when you have ultimate confidence in yourself. Don't be blindsided by it. Don't be egotistical about the self-belief. Back the self-belief up with fact. And that fact is going to come through skill, research. It's going to come through confidence in the knowledge and the wisdom and the people you surround yourself with. It's going to become more defined by the teachings and the books that you read, the media that you consume, the TV that you watch, the documentaries, the films, the Instagram accounts that you follow, your feed on Instagram. It's going to become more strengthened as you build up that depth of why you should believe in yourself. It's super crucial. And then once you've backed it up with all of that, and you live in a world where you're fully self-belief, the rest is limitless. You are then defined by how big you can dream, in my opinion. The steps in between, you'll work towards it and you'll be relentless in it. And in my opinion, if you have that, if you have passion, if you have purpose, if you have self-belief and confidence, and you're backing it with teachings, knowledge, wisdom, training every single day, and then you set a goal, a really lofty goal of somewhere that you want to aim for, the process of getting there will give you the happiest and most fulfilling life possible. That's how I feel about it. And, you know, it's very difficult to know exactly if you'll achieve that particular goal, but I promise you along the way, you will be happy and find something or somewhere that maybe you didn't expect yourself to be. But looking back, you will realize that it started right here with the self-confidence, you know, the knowing, the teachings, the wisdom, the pursuing forward because you had self-belief. Super important. I hope that helps you today. Thank you for watching. And I'm enjoying doing these videos to you guys. Whenever I get a moment, we've got the studio at the moment because we just filmed this Seth Godin episode. And if you want to find out more about that, you can go to the link in the description and watch the episode. But whenever I get a moment, I've got the studio. I just wanted to share some of my moments, some of my stories. I am looking at sharing some of the situations that I've had happen to me in my life because I think that there is teachings there. And I want to share that. If people want to hear more, if there's specific situations you've heard in one of the podcast episodes or the interviews that you're curious about, because it might be inspiring or it might be a good lesson or teachings, I will share it. I'm not just going to overshare for no reason. I don't think there's any need to do that. But if there is something, even around Jacob, you know, if it's something that you guys want to know about, I know a lot of people face loss, and I want to let you guys know that my experience and how that was and some of the things that I learned from that, then I'll do that 100%. And I want to share that. That's exactly what we want to do here. We want to inspire change and bring great guests onto the show to help give you practical teachings and lessons on how to do that, but then also share my own experience on how to do that as well. And yeah, thank you for watching, as always. Today's video was sponsored by the amazing Huel, a quick, affordable, nutritionally complete source of food with everything that your body needs. Huel have just launched their Black Edition. If you know their Black Edition, it's their higher content protein supplements, or I wouldn't call them supplements, but meal replacements. And with that, they've just developed the Black Edition on the go ready to drink bottles, which is when you go to like the airport or you're in a store, you see these bottles that are in the fridges, and they've just done the Black Edition. So a higher protein version of their OG classic Huel is now available. So if you want to buy some of that, go to the link in the description. I fully recommend it. I was using Huel Black Edition to train for the world record Atlas Stone, which is going to be coming up soon, by the way, guys. If you want to watch the documentary, go subscribe to the main channel. Please subscribe to this channel as well if you haven't already. This is a full-on movement that we're pushing at the moment. But yeah, find out more of Huel with the link down below. And I hope you've enjoyed this so far. This is a mission to inspire change around the world, and it doesn't start with just watching this video. It starts with going out there and producing action and being part of the Inspire Change movement, guys. You inspire change through action. You know, living with passion and purpose. People are watching. Share your message, share your teaching, share these videos. Go out there, do something with passion. Somebody is watching and it will have impact. Thank you as always, and let's make this world a better place just through living with that kind of passion and letting other people live with that passion as well. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.